Hey, Tom,
Good to
how's
see
it
you.
going? Tom Shurtleff, Rob Murchison, Intelligent Buildings.
How's
Guys,
it going?
glad to have you here. Last time I saw you guys here, you were getting the PTOC Award at the Control Trends Award, so deservedly so.
That was a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. Man, guys, it's great to have you here. And,
Great to be here.
So, to put it in context, if you haven't met these guys or heard from them before, tell our viewers a little bit about what you guys do, because you've super critical role.
Well, we're a smart building consulting company, and so we are headquartered in Charlotte, but we work throughout North America and a little bit internationally. Been in 85 different cities, so we get around. We offer consulting in the form of architecture, planning, organizational alignment, program and project management, and strategy development.
Well, it's been my experience, guys, that you can have the best technology in the world, best integrator in the world, maybe the best facilities manager in the world, but you got so many people that the system touches. If everybody's not aligned, none of that's going to work well. And that's where you guys come in, right?
Yeah, I would say that's definitely correct. And through our 10 plus years of experience doing this, we've learned that it's just not about the technology. It's about getting all those different stakeholders aligned and understanding their different perspectives on what they're trying to accomplish.
What's funny, though, is the technology is creating the situation you both described, right? The technology came in whether we liked it or not, and it creates this organizational confusion in some cases.
Well, it does. And I tell you what, you guys are, I know, a Panthers fan. You got the best professional football team, best athletes, but if you don't have a coach, it's just going to be chaos. And you guys do a great job sort of organizing, getting it all done. So let's talk a little bit about, we're hearing a lot of buzz here about cyber hacking and buildings and so on and so forth. So let's sort of dispel a myth here. So do smart buildings cause cyber hacks? I mean, is that the reason they're happening? Or
Well, actually, that's a good point, because there is a great misunderstanding that when you do smart buildings, i.e. technology, you're creating cyber risks. And what we're trying to communicate is that long before the whole smart building conversation came along, as in decades, building control systems operated on networks, many times connected to the internet. And that's inherent risk and exposure, and just the industry hadn't been set up to think about cyber issues in that current environment.
And another one of the complications is the average building is 30, 40, 50 years old.
Yeah.
So it has computers in there. Not, gosh, Eric, you've probably been in some of these same buildings where there are operating systems that are still running DOS. Still running old versions of Windows and so forth, and that creates a lot of vulnerability if someone doesn't take a proactive approach to that.
Yeah, so not to negate the fact that you need to make sure your building automation control system is secure, right? But there's so many other leaks that probably need to be dealt with first, right?
Well, we mentioned the people earlier, right? So
Yeah.
even if you had a perfectly great cyber plan from a network perspective, who's got the key to the door?
Yeah.
Where are the passwords kept? What about a password custody program? And that gets into, we talked about this last year, where, what are the policies you have for your vendors for cybersecurity, right? The technology and the hardware and the software are very important. But then the next thing is, what is the people side, your vendors and even your internal policies?
Well, what I love about you guys, because one of the questions I kept hearing over and over yesterday was, well, how do I get my system checked or whatever? They were asking the guy from Homeland Security to come check their system and so on. And the kind of guy's going, well, unless you're getting hacked, that probably is not a good thing. And given the fact that there's so many smaller steps that need to be taken before you even get to that, you guys have sort of come up with a solution to address that, haven't you?
Yeah, I definitely. And the first thing you have to do is you have to establish what you got, right?
Yeah.
Before you go try to fix a problem, you have to establish some awareness around what you got. So what we've done is we've developed an offering that allows a customer to acquire our services in a way in which we have cookie cuttered, if you will. We've done this over and over again inside of our other engagements and said, you know what, this is something that our customers really want to have. And so we allow them to purchase a prepackaged software services offering where they can go and we will assess what's going on in the building and come back in just like a day or so and give them a rating scale.
Oh, this is cool. Yeah, okay, cool. So we got it right up here.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
talk
so
about that
as
if
Rob
you
was
will,
saying,
guys.
it covers all the different dimensions of your cyber risk in a building, right? So the building systems themselves, whether it's the hardware and software or the appliances. Then you get into the local network connectivity we talked about, but also these people things. What are your vendor policies and what are your internal procedures? And we score those. And we use standards like NIST and ISO and Department of Homeland Security processes that are already established, but apply it to the building world. So we rate each of these categories and give you a score. Now you get a sense of what your risks are and a real clear path of what your remediation is.
How cool
And,
is
like,
that?
and like you were mentioning earlier, this doesn't necessarily need to start with CIA level penetration
Right.
testing, right?
Right.
Let's start with what's going on in your building, including the people side of it.
So when I think about this, I kind of think about like I go to the doctor, I get a checkup, right? Something's off.
Right.
I don't need to go to a brain surgeon to find out, if I'm overweight, right?
That's right, but it's also a very complex, kind of mysterious topic, and this is a very simple, fast
Yeah.
way to get your bearings. And I think that's, we do offer that, but we'd like to advocate, even in the industry, is to get your bearings first in the simplest, fastest way that you can before you overcomplicate it in your mind.
And I want to emphasize that speed thing is that over time, inside of our other offerings, we developed processes so someone can literally call us and say, we want you to go assess our building and do our CyberSafe offering. A couple days later, we can come back and say,
That's awesome.
that this is where you are, and then through the business, they can help address the risks that they want to go tackle, because some of those aren't free to fix.
Right.
Some of those are almost free to fix.
But you get all that, you find out where you're at, you get the easiest stuff fixed
Yep.
before you. So I'm an owner, I'm watching this, I say, I like Tom, I like Rob, I like what they're saying. I want to do one of these checkups. How do they go about doing that?
I mean, the fastest way is just to go to intelligentbuildings.com, and it's right there on the front. You can get in touch with us, and we can contact them that way.
Awesome, guys. That's cool stuff. Well, you guys do so much more than that, but this is really cool. One of the things I love about you guys is you tend to respond to the needs of the industry. Right. This is relatively new for you guys.
We try to keep up with that. It was convergence was the big deal. Then it was data and analytics, which are still very important.
Right.
But really, the issue of the day is cyber, it seems, and so we want to be on top of that.
Very, very, very cool. Okay, while we got you guys, because you guys are experts, what's one thing that you commonly see when you go to an owner assessment that you just see that you get over and over again? What's one tip you could give the owners out there?
You mean in general in the
Yeah,
smart
just in
building
general.
industry?
What's one nugget?
I think one of the things we see is that they're besieged by vendor solution pitches, and
Yep.
they're looking for their strategy and vendor pitches, rather than taking one step back and creating a strategy and let all those vendors fit into it. It's a little bit backwards in that way.
There's no one size fits all to
Right.
any portfolio, and every portfolio has their differences and their unique attributes. And trying to get your head around that is something that is a journey.
Yep.
It's not something that you're going to do overnight.
Well, and I think that's where you guys come in, because you're the customer's your best interest. The solution you're selling is a satisfied customer. You probably don't really care what the technology is as long as it works. You don't care who the players are as long as they're going to play well and do a good job.
And that's
right?
part of our business model. Since we don't resell other products and services, we don't have to worry about that. We really worry about getting results for the customer.
At the end of the day, it's about the data, right? Buildings produce data. I think we've heard several times at the conference that you can listen to your buildings.
Yes.
And we want our customers to be able to listen to the data in their buildings, and the need to go listen to those buildings is now driving a more complex conversation.
There you go. Well, guys, I tell you what, anybody's listening, check these guys out.